Another Bills season comes to a devastating end in frustrating fashion against the Chiefs in the playoffs. Whether it's 13 seconds or it's the Stephon Diggs drop or it's the the Dalton Kincaid drop now, Josh Allen did his part. And yeah, it started off rough. He had 4 turnover-worthy plays in the first half. But if you throw an interceptable pass on back-to-back plays, like theoretically only one could really get caught. And frankly, the Bills got away with it. Neither of those balls were picked. Neither of his fumbles were picked up by the Chiefs. They got the benefit of A caliber quarterbacking while their quarterback played a C game. That's huge. It just wasn't enough. Even with the questionable calls, the Bills just don't have the horses. The same reason you argue that Josh Allen should have been MVP is the same reason that the Bills are limited. The coaching's not doing them a ton of favors. The offensive line's just okay. The receivers can't beat man coverage, and the guys that they are counting on being stars kind of stink. Keon Coleman, it's obvious. He's a rookie. Maybe he develops. I don't think so. He looks terrible. And Dalton Kincaid, in his second year, he's like 26 years old already. He was awful. Now, even without the drop on fourth down. Whatever. Things happen. It's a crazy play. Lots of pressure. Things got weird. But all game, missing blocks, dropping balls, not getting open. Spencer Brown, too, the right tackle. Doors blown off him many times. Josh Allen did his job. 2 elite throws, 2 great throws, big runs, avoiding sacks like crazy, and it just didn't matter. So that's enough talking. It's enough misery. Let's just get to the film. And A, enjoy the brilliance from Josh Allen, and B, enjoy the gorgeous chess match between Steve Spagnuolo and Josh Allen at the line of scrimmage, because that was the story of the day for me. All right, roll it. Josh Allen's actually going to get his day started off with 2 balls that should have been caught by Chiefs. Here you can see his receiver, Mac Hollins, open, big receiver. Put that ball low to protect your receiver from the defenders. Allen puts it way too high, and behind that hits a safety in the breasts. That's got to be a pick. And Allen on the very next play is going to throw another ball that should have been intercepted. And it's one of those funny things where, you look at the end of game chart and you say, oh, well, Josh Allen should have had 2 turnovers on interceptable passes. Well, not really. Only one of them could have been picked, but either would have been catastrophic because you're handing the Chiefs the ball in really good field position. Here, again, drops back, relatively clean pocket at the top of the drop, but that doesn't last very long, right? It almost immediately pressured on his blind side. Allen does a really nice job of stepping up, and it stinks because the play actually does work. The crosser to Curtis Samuel is open, and that's where Allen should go, and the ball should come out right here, but as Allen releases, and he's just maybe a tenth of a second late to recognize. As he goes to release, he gets hit. You can't throw while you're getting hit. That's how sack fumbles happen. He has to break out. And once he breaks out, he no longer wants the easier pass to Curtis Samuel. He's looking downfield because he sees Keon Coleman wide open. And if you look very carefully, you might see him too. That's called facetiousness. It's like an even more subtle sarcasm. Allen does a good job of finding the receiver. He does a really good job of actually getting the ball to him, right? Allen is flushed left, which is the harder direction for him as a right-armed quarterback to throw. And from the 30-yard line on the hash mark, he's able to throw this ball to the opposite, shall we call it, 40. This is 30 yards downfield on a line drive rolling left. Not the easiest thing to do, but he leaves the ball short. Right? You got to put that ball a little higher or throw it with more velocity. He lets it get red, and therefore it should have been picked off right there. That's 2 interceptable balls to start the game for Josh Allen, with 2+ movements, of course. And that's a really bad start. Here on the tight copy, you'll be able to see a little bit more of what Allen was dealing with in terms of pressure, right? He wants to get rid of the ball right there. I think the perfect quarterback, the Tom Brady, let's go with this ball right here, and we never have to deal with it. But Josh Allen, wonderful as he is, excellent quarterback that he is, He's not the best anticipator. He gets away with being a tad late because he's got the greatest arm of all time. Now, right here, if the ball's out, you're not pressured, you get a quick, easy 5 to 15 yards. Happy day. It looks routine. Instead, Josh Allen makes a relatively easy play pretty damn difficult because he holds onto the ball a little too long. And as he breaks out of the pocket, again, this is amazing. We love the off-platform throw. We love the mobility, the playmaking, but he took an easy play and made it difficult on himself. And that reflects itself in the chart. Instead of a routine throw, which is a good thing, he has an interceptable one, which is a bad thing. You can also see here his body's facing entirely the wrong way. This throw is being made all with torso strength. Right, he doesn't have feet planted on the ground helping him. It's arm and a little bit of upper abs, and that's it. And it still ends up being a pretty impressive throw. It's just it needs to be a little higher. Right, 13 should be picking this ball off, and if not him, then certainly 6. Brian Cook, number 6, safety for the Chiefs. 2 balls right through his hands, first 2 plays. Not a great start. Now, Josh Allen actually did a really good job of this almost all the game, and I say almost because the last play did happen. Recognizing blitzes, making checks at the line, right? He sees they're going to stunt. He calls a really good protection. He throws a laser beam. He gets 5-6 yards to Dalton Kincaid. It's a routine throw, but that's good stuff from Josh Allen before the snap even occurs. Making the requisite checks, resetting the mic, helping his lineman get situated. The way that he's helping his lineman get situated, I should be more specific. He's going to an empty protection, which means that the center kind of floats, right? He lets the center float because then when you get a stunt, the center can wham block. He can come out, a little bit out of nowhere from the side and help whichever guard is being beaten laterally. Saves him a ton of time. Allen gets the ball out of the way just in time to avoid Charles Omenahue's pressure. On to 2nd and 5. Clean pocket, play works. This is basically the play they were trying to run earlier on that second drop back where Josh Allen threw an interceptable ball. You just get a nice little drag on a mesh, plenty of room to work. One of the simplest plays in the book. So that was a routine play. This is a little bit tougher. Play action, swarm of bodies to the bottom of the screen. It's going to be a high-low read. You've got Karlaftis on Josh Allen one-on-one. Allen's the better athlete. He's got an advantage. You've got Dawson Knox up against Brian Cook. That's a pretty decent advantage. And you see the play that Joe Brady has designed here. Right? You're going to notice Josh Allen's coming out here on a rollout. But then you're going to have parallel receivers running with him. So he's basically, instead of a high-low read, it's a high-low, 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 or a high-high, high-low. 3 receivers directly in Josh Allen's vision, one-on-ones everywhere, at least in theory. It just doesn't work. The Chiefs are hip to the idea. Allen's just going to smartly throw it away. Nothing's there. The Chiefs read out the play. Next one. I believe it's 3rd down. It could be 2nd. Doesn't really matter the way people go for it these days. It's just a quick glance slant to Amari Cooper. Nothing really to it. Good velocity on the ball. Accurate ball, but I'm going to call it routine. It didn't take a lot of extra effort there. Yeah, that was 2nd down. So now you're on 3rd. Makeable. 8-9 yards. You get some yardage back after the penalty. I like the play design, right? So another common theme with Allen, ball's going to be out just a little later than you want it. You want the ball to be hitting Shakir right here. You think that the half of a tenth of a second doesn't matter, but it kind of doesn't. Let me show you why. So it's going to be a very simple little curl out by Shakir, and I really turned that arrow into a schwa. Didn't mean to do that. I'm doing it again. This is bad. My penmanship, not what I'm known for. The idea is you're going to have Khalil Shakir on this little outbreaker, and then you're going to have a tight end, Dalton Kincaid, against a corner on the outside to seal the edge. And then, theoretically, it should be pretty easy for one of the best yak receivers in the league this year, according to production, to just kind of bend that outside, get the edge, get a first down, or at the very least a third and short. There's just one problem. Dalton Kincaid completely whiffs on his block. Now, part of that is because the ball's a little late, right? Kincaid comes out of the blocks blocking. Redundant, I know, but it's what happened. Because the ball's a little bit late, Kincaid has already come off of his jam and turned it into a curl. And because that ball's late, now there's 2 yards of separation between the tight end and the corner. Because there's that space, it gives Kincaid the opportunity to miss his block. Now, Kincaid needs to hit that block anyway. You're a tight end. That's a corner. I know there's 2 yards of space. Boo-hoo. Get hands on him. You don't have to lay a perfect crack block. You just have to screen and get in the way. And he fails to even do that. And that's why Shakir's not able to turn the corner, because if that head corner... Yikes, redundancy again. If that defensive back who's currently tackling Shakir is slowed up even a step, Shakir has the edge. That's an easy first down. He might be at the 25. So Dalton Kincaid, he made more than one mistake in this game. And dude, Dawson Knox is better than him at football. Just start Dawson Knox. I digress. We're on to the next drive. Here, right out of Cliff Kingsbury's playbook. Little glance, like a pump fake with your eyes, and then you just swing it out to the running back with a lead blocker. The idea is James Cook is special. You get a one-on-one in space against a linebacker, he's going to get you yards. And he does. So, next drive, or next set of downs, rather. Josh Allen playing cat and mouse. And this game was a beautiful exhibit of chess between Steve Spagnuolo and Josh Allen, and a little bit Joe Brady, but let's just focus on Josh Allen. He's making checks at the line. They have an overhang edge, but it's opposite an overhang linebacker. It almost looks like a six-man front, so you have to be aware of the fact that this could be heavy pressure. Little return motion by the running back. That's where he just runs this little squiggly guy. And then they're going to do a jet motion with Khalil Shakir. And again, the idea of the running back motion is the linebacker didn't really look keen to go with him. So it's probably zone. And then we get the jet motion from Shakir, and nobody's really following him so much as they're just shifting the defense, right? You would expect, if it's man coverage, that Trent McDuffie, this corner down at the bottom of the screen, is going to run all the way with him. But when he stops and 20 shifts over, Josh Allen's thinking, oh, it's zone. Well, it's not zone, because number 20, the slot corner, or slot safety, I guess, Reed, he keys on this play. And the idea is, assuming they're playing cover 2 as Josh believes at the snap of the ball, because nobody follows Khalil Shakir, this just looks like simple cover 2, 2 high safeties. These are going to be the zones, and therefore these 2 outside receivers will either be able to preoccupy or block these outside corners, and then you'll have an overload because Shakir will be coming here on the jet motion, creating a very easy pass for many yards with 2 lead blockers against 2.5 defenders, because that safety is going to have to come from range. He's 20 yards deep, and Shakir is a shifty runner. So if it was actually cover 2 zone, this would be brilliant. But Justin Reed makes the first of many really awesome plays in this game. Whether or not it is supposed to be zone, and I don't know if it is, because the safety shifts over, it looks like it might be cover 1 man, but that doesn't matter. Justin Reed makes a read that this is going to be a screen or a swing, and blows up the play, because you accounted for those 2 outside corners. You didn't account for a third. If Josh Allen had known this would be man, or at least covered like man, he never would have run this play. He would have checked it at the line and did something different. So the Chiefs showed one thing pre-snap, that they were going to run pretty basic regular zone, and then after the snap, rotated into something completely different. Man, blew up the screen. No matter. Josh Allen throws a nice little dart here, gets the first down. It's a solid throw. This play not as good, right? Nobody really comes open. There's not a lot you can do here. I gripe a lot about Joe Brady running way too much yak-based passing offense for a quarterback that is this talented, right? And Josh Allen's not that great at getting the ball out with anticipation on time. He's a little teeny bit late, as we've examined already. You don't want to run an offense that requires him to be perfectly timed, right? Like you're playing to his weakness, not his strength. He's great at throwing the ball down the field, so let him do that. Problem, the Bills don't have any fucking receivers who can get open. And it's a real problem. You see this play. What's he supposed to do? Throw it to Curtis Samuel for a gain of 2? Come on. It's Josh Allen. And Kincaid does nothing to get open. He does nothing to pick his defender or the defender on Curtis Samuel. Sorry, that's Knox. Kincaid does nothing to get open on the streak at the bottom of the screen against a linebacker, and you got a fullback on a wheel route as the back shoulder. That's your only real option down the field. So Allen has nothing. And the pressure gets home. The protection doesn't hold up despite a 4-man rush. Allen gets hit from behind, and he fumbles. And we're going to blame him for that fumble. We're also going to give him credit for that recovery. It's a plus movement and a fumble and a sack. No-fault sack. He was going to get hit either way. But a really bad play. A play that, changes the fortunes of this drive. Here, a little routine slant. Utilize Mac Hollins' size. And then this is excellent. Khalil Shakir, zone beater extraordinaire. The Chiefs are just running basic cover 2. He's going to run a bend route, right? He's from the slot. He's going to just run up to the defender, and as soon as the defender on him stops his feet, that's when Shakir knows that's as deep as this corner is going. I'm just going to run right behind him, and I'm going to fill that hole right between the void, or right between the zones, the void in the middle, right? Again, Shakir's job is just to run a straight line until this defender stops his feet. Once he stops his feet, he knows, all right, just sit right behind him because he's not moving anymore, and the linebacker is going to take some time to shift over onto me. Brilliant. Allen with a dart. I mean, that is crazy velocity. It might not seem like it, but you'll see from the tight copy here. I mean, he just zings that puppy in there. Bang. Perfect. And that's why you don't want to play zone against the Bills. Next drive, play action, more cover 2, right? This is the problem with Spags, is he shows you all this exotic shit, and you get all in your head about what's coming. It's just regular cover 2 this time. You're fine. Cover 4, sorry. And it takes a beat for you to understand what's going on. It just took me a beat, right? Still, just regular cover 4. But really great throw by Josh Allen. Drop by Kincaid. Sensing a pattern. It's like there's something going on here. Look, ball could be in front. Needs to be in front. But it's a possession tight end and he gets 2 hands on the ball. You got to catch that ball. It's not perfect. It's not great. I misspoke earlier. It's not really great. It's solid. Needs to be better. Needs to be out in front. But, that's also got to be caught. All right. This particular alignment is, they're going to do it again later. This defensive alignment, right? You see Trent McDuffie walk down. Obvious look is he's going to blitz. And, you see this, I believe that's 27. Yeah. 27, corner. Nickel corner, he's probably going to blitz too. They're all in there. They're really jammed up in there. You got 2 mugged linebackers, a dog mug, right? Both your linebackers are going to be up on the line like defensive tackles. And so you're only going to have 2 safeties, vacant linebackers, and 1 corner up at the top of the screen to the weak side. Conventional wisdom says you're probably getting a blitz either from the middle or from the right. And the Chiefs bail out. They bail out completely. And now Josh Allen does a really good job of recognizing this. He doesn't take the bait. He doesn't care. He's going to throw the screen, tunnel screen, or drag, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care. And it's, look, that's got to be caught. Frankly, the receiver has no business falling down. This is 2nd down, so it's not the end of the world, but it's a routine throw. It's a good play design. Curtis Samuel has 10 yards of yak right there that he just, yikes. Yeah, it'd be really great if the Bills had some like super speedy gadget receiver who was very reliable on such plays and young and cheap. Like Xavier Worthy would be a perfect fit. I'm so glad they have 4 big slot receivers, though, in Mac Hollins and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox and Keon Coleman, all who do the same shit. Not that well, either. So this play, 3rd down, kind of blown up. The idea is to have Kincaid, again, running across the field on a drag. Hopefully he gets some yak ability, gets the ability to turn the edge on a corner. Instead, he's paired up with Justin Reed, who is just having a nightmare good day. Breaks on the ball. There's really nothing for Josh Allen to do. Obviously, nobody's open downfield. He doesn't have help. And so he just lofts the ball up there. It's a throwaway. But if you look on the left side of your screen, you will see Kincaid racing across. That was the intended target. Boom. But nobody expected Justin Reed to range across the formation again, like earlier, to make a nice coverage play. And Allen says, fuck it, we'll punt, dude. This is more what the Bills had in mind. On the last 2 plays they called. 1st down. Josh Allen does a great job of extending the play, and he flips the ball out on that drag. Now, Dalton Kincaid does a really bad job of blocking Nick Bolton. In fact, he doesn't block him at all. Right? The idea is that Kincaid takes Bolton, ball gets to Shakir, and then you got another block outside, and you should have a big lane to the safety. But because of the instant pressure on this quick developing play, the ball is flipped instead of thrown, and that means that you need a little bit more time blocking. And Dalton Kincaid, once again, for the 2nd time today already, does a really, really poor job of sealing the edge. I mean, this is like an all-time terrible game from Kincaid. This is the kind of shit that changes careers. I don't think he should be starting over Dawson Knox anyway, and I think that this game made it abundantly clear he can't. The idea is that Kincaid is supposed to be a much better blocker, right? And that's why he plays. He's more of a complete tight end. Well, he doesn't look very complete to me. Quick hitch to Amari Cooper. It's just a routine throw, nothing to it. Longer hitch, this time to Keon Coleman, nothing to it. We're in 2-minute offense. This has to go quick. That's why you're getting these soft zone defenses. These are routine throws, even though they're further downfield than typical. Great job navigating the pocket by Allen. The right tackle is getting abused all day. Nothing doing. There's Dalton Kincaid not getting open, but he is doubled, so I don't blame him that much in this particular instance. It's a good throwaway. Plus move, throwaway. It's the right thing to do. And this is a dumb thing. This is stupid. What a throw. This is not stupid as in it's a bad idea, but you got... See, watch number 95 in the middle of the defense. Sorry, he lines up on the edge. Chris Jones lines up on the edge, and once again, 79, the right tackle, just gets abused. Spencer Brown's not a terrible tackle, but he sure played like it in this particular game. So Josh Allen's throwing while getting pressured, not from his blind side, but from the side he's not looking at. And while Mac Hollins is open, this ball is perfectly thrown. Mac Hollins does a great job of throttling and adjusting so that he's getting to the ball at the last possible second rather than running his route as fast as he can, stopping and waiting. The defensive pass interference flag thrown here is absolute and utter bullshit. It's a perfectly thrown ball. It's a perfectly played ball by Mac Hollins as well. It's an elite deep pass with a plus movement for throwing while being pressured. Watch again from the tight copy to see what Josh Allen's dealing with here. Chris Jones lines up at a left defensive end. He puts the fucking ghost move on Spencer Brown, and Spencer Brown is left with nothing in his hands except maybe his penis. And that is a drop in the bucket dime. Elite throw. I mean, that's special stuff. I believe that this is out of... Yeah. That play was out of order. But it was a routine little flip screen to Dawson Knox. A little swing. Here's another screen. Khalil Shakir. And the screens actually worked pretty well in this game, which is why I can't hate Joe Brady so much for calling one later in the game at a crucial juncture. Once again, they don't work that great when they go to Kincaid, but alas. More routine throws, pretty decent play design. Right? Like, the Bills are trying to win with play design, and it's not because they don't trust Josh Allen. It's because they know they don't have any receivers. James Cook is their only real weapon. Everybody else is just something. Amari Cooper looks over the hill. I don't know if he just doesn't know the offense or if he's just that washed that quickly, but they don't have anything. A lot of routine throws because of it, and then shit like this. This is a nuts play. All right, let's break it down the whole way. Once again, the Bills are going to come out and immediately do this return motion with the running back. He's going to run out like he's going to line up out wide. When he does so, nobody quite follows him. They just shift the zone. Maybe it's zone. Now you're going to jet across with Curtis Samuel. Not a ton of movement. And then you're going to orbit back, right? So a return motion or a out motion from the running back, return motion from the slot receiver, probably zone. And it's right. It is zone. Josh Allen sees that it's zone, and because he's got open field, like, okay, this is very complicated. It happens in a split second in Josh Allen's brain. But so he's saying, 1, when I move the running back out, they shift, they don't follow. 2, when I move the slot receiver across the formation and back again, nobody followed him. They just stayed put. It's probably zone. Now, also, I have 2 safeties, and it looks like they're going to be playing middle field open. You know, either cover 4 or cover 2. Josh Allen saying, if I'm right, my tight slot running this extremely skinny post, in fact, that's not even near skinny enough. It's basically just a crooked line. He's going to split those safeties, and I'm going to have a touchdown. And Allen's about as close to right as he could be. It's not a touchdown, but it is a lovely play. Big time. Great throw. I don't know about an elite throw. Line of scrimmage is the 35. Zips it in there to the 7. Yeah, that's an elite throw. I'll update the chart. That's really nice. Right? Making checks at the line. Manipulating the defense to try to pull some tells out of it, and he does a great job in doing so. Because he has organized his protection well, it's a perfect pocket, and it's a perfect ball, and it's a catch, and that's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. And that's why you want Josh Allen throwing downfield. That's why you want to find playmakers who can actually get open down the field. Here, it's an RPO. The idea is you either give or you run. You might as well run because you're going to have a lead blocker in Ray Davis. Ray Davis doesn't really do much of lead blocking, and it doesn't matter because you get chased down anyway. It's blown up before it starts. It's a negative run. I don't love the idea. It is what it is. Here's why you do that, though. When you try to just run a regular-ass pass, nobody's open. There's just nobody who can win. Right? Receivers win by getting open when they're not supposed to or in one-on-one situations, and nobody on the Bills does that. So instead, Josh Allen has to bail and throw the ball away yet again. He's really got no help, And they try to scheme some stuff, but they're not brilliant at it. Now here, third down, I hate this. First of all, it's a bad throw. It's way too far afield. You should be throwing this back shoulder, if anything. And the idea is you have Keon Coleman. It's like 6'5", 6'6". He's fucking huge. And he's going up against Trent McDuffie, who's like 5'10", 5'11". But Trent McDuffie plays at least 6 foot tall. Honestly, when I was watching him at Washington a few years back doing pre-draft scouting, I thought he was going to be a 6'1" long corner just because he plays so long. 2, ball is so far afield. You're hoping to just get a quick, safe play out there, right? It's not going to get picked off. You might not score, but at least you keep yourself in decent field position. You're not getting sacked. It's easy, yada, yada. Bad ball by Josh. If he puts it on the back shoulder, he's got a pretty decent shot at it. But hey, Keon Coleman loves to drop it anyway. Here, fourth down. Gorgeous, lovely, absolutely had to have it, and they get it. I want you to watch what they do with Khalil Shakir here. He motions across, and then he orbits all the way back, and then he stops and continues back to his first direction. This is basically the play that the Bills ran on fourth down, except instead of Dalton Kincaid running the corner, it's going to be Curtis Samuel, who actually makes the catch. Good for Curtis Samuel. It's a good throw. Not a great throw. It's a good throw. He's wide open. And again, they call this foreshadowing in the biz. You're going to have Khalil Shakir run here, back across, and then back out here. And because of all this wasting of time before the snap, watch how nobody notices where he goes. No shade on Josh Allen. He did the right thing. He ran the play exactly as it was supposed to be. But Khalil Shakir gets out here with tons of space. Their best receiver with tons of space and one lead blocker. Now, I don't love Ray Davis as the lead blocker, but I guess it's better than James Cook. And so theoretically, later in the game, if you wanted to, come back to this, you could flip this ball out to Shakir and that's at least 5 yards. You can get 10 yards on that. Huh. Wonder if Joe Brady stashed that away for a more important moment later in the game. Speaking of important moments, we're coming up on a very important one. Josh Allen. Nice. I would have liked if he got the ball out to James Cook a little early. You would have had him one-on-one with Nick Bolton, but this is literally exactly as good. Plus pocket movement, breaks out of a messy pocket. Plus run, great job. I am shocked that he did not fumble there. That's nuts to me, but it is what it is. This play sucks. I mean, this stinks because, Matt Stafford would be throwing this ball to Keon Coleman. And yeah, Keon Coleman's going to take a hit from Brian Cook, but you put that ball on the outside where this circle is, right? You laser it in there so McDuffie doesn't have a chance to get on the ball. He's too far behind. You put it on the outside so that Keon Coleman can kind of box the safety who's hitting him out with his butt a little bit to cushion the blow. You make a catch. You're at the 40. You're in field goal range. Let's tie this up. Instead, you could just dump it off to Kincaid. You could do whatever you like. Allen throws it away. I think this was a miscommunication. Tony Romo did a pretty good job of explaining it during the game, I believe. But basically, Josh Allen decided here he was going to throw the slant, and Shakir stops, right? Here, Shakir stops thinking like, I'm toast. Allen wanted him to continue. Luckily, I think at the last second, Josh Allen realized there was a miscommunication and pulled up, leaving the throw high so that it would just hit the dirt. Otherwise, if that ball had been accurate, really good chance of it getting picked. I think that's a pretty decent job on Allen's part of managing to turn a bad throw into a throwaway. However, it is still a bad throw. As is this. It's a batted ball. It stinks. Everything is so condensed and it makes things really difficult on your offense. Everything has to be perfect, and that's not what this offensive line or this quarterback are meant for. They're meant to be big game hunters. They're not consistently great, but they're good enough. And this ball just gets, You know why it gets batted down? Look at Nick Bolton in the middle of the field right there. Linebacker, standing right at the middle of the field around the 42-yard line. Nobody's engaging him. He's spying the quarterback. Now, when that happens, personally, Nick Bolton's behind the line of scrimmage. Any one of those offensive linemen can just charge him and run block him and put him on his ass. And that's what they should have done, in my opinion. Right? If he's behind the line of scrimmage, you can go forward. That's not a run block. It's not illegally downfield. So go charge him and just plow his ass into the field. But, whatever. They don't. That's why the ball's batted. So now we're in a tough spot. 3rd down, 10 to go. And the Bills just throw a screen. And Amari Cooper kind of double catches it. And he still gets 5 yards. Maybe if he catches it the first time, he's got a better shot at making the, breaking out. Decent job by Spencer Brown of getting out into space. Really good job by George Karlaftis of chasing Cooper down. If George Karlaftis just dogs this, if he says fuck it, dude, I got beat, who knows? If the right guard even engages him a little bit, and it's not his job to, but if anything happens, George Karlaftis is out of the play. This is probably a 1st down. Instead, excellent motor by the defensive end. Not the most athletic man, but damn it, he gets there. If Amari Cooper's got a slightly smaller shoe, maybe it's a 1st down, but alas, it is 4th and 5. And this is the play to break all hearts. Now, earlier, I mentioned a defensive look that the Chiefs have given a couple times. They've given it again here. You got overload to the top of the screen. What does that mean? Well, it means you've got your 4 standard rushers, but then also you've got this, mugged up middle, which means you've got a linebacker playing defensive tackle effectively. And you got this slot safety, Justin Reed, yet again, having his nightmare game. He's up on a tackle, so he probably looks like he's going to blitz. So if you're Josh Allen, you're thinking they're loading the right side. They have 3 extra rushers on the right side, or, 2 extra rushers on the right side, but because of their alignment, having one offset, it looks more like an overload. You're screwed. It's one-on-one blocks, but everybody's got to go to the right to get to their man. Now, here's the issue. Earlier in the game, when the Chiefs lined up like this, that's not who they actually blitzed. Earlier in the game, they sent this corner in, and they just blitzed 5, right? They blitzed 1 extra man off of the back side. So they overload this end, and while you're looking over there at all the people crowded and scaring you, they back them off and blitz you on the other side with the offside corner. And they play zone behind it, obviously. If that's going to be the case, then theoretically you should be sliding the protection to the left, right, to the bottom of the screen, because that's where the blitzer is coming from. So Josh Allen kind of outthinks himself. He says, all day Spags has been showing me his left hand and hitting me with his right hand. He's showing me his left hand on this play, so I got to expect he's going to hit me with the right hand. So Josh Allen actually alters the protection to slot left. So they're going to say, we're not worried about those 3 corners or those 3 rushers at the top of the screen. We're just worried about that cornerback down to the bottom and the rushers on the left half of the defensive line. Josh Allen may have thought too much on this particular play, because even though all game Spagnuolo had been saying, oh, look at my left hand, and popping you with the right, here, he's showing you his left hand and he's going to hit you with his left hand. So this is the defense that Josh Allen thought he was going to get, basically a cover 2 blitz. And in blue here is the monstrosity that Allen actually gets on defense, right? Let me clean this up for you a little bit and get rid of the hypothetical pink defense that Allen expected. Now, those of you who watched this play live should immediately see 2 things. The first is you have 3 unblocked blitzers because Josh Allen shifted everybody to the left, and there's only 1 blitzer on the left, right? So you've got 5 people rushing the passer, and only 1 is actually being blocked right now. That's a bad start. But on the bright side, the offensive play works perfectly against this defense. Let me show you what the offensive play is. Once again, Khalil Shakir is going to do that weird orbit motion, which is just he runs back to the backfield and then he comes back and runs a swing pass back towards where he started. That's actually the primary read. That's what this play is designed for. Now, the rest of the receivers are basically just trying to set up Khalil Shakir for success. So Amari Cooper is going to run this drag wheel where he runs across the field and then towards the end of it starts to bend upfield, seeking space. He's mostly just a decoy, right? He's mostly just running away from the play so that there's one fewer defender to make a play after the catch. Similarly, Mac Hollins is going to run this deep dig. Why the deep dig? Because A, maybe they leave him open, and B, he's drawing those safeties away from that side of the field. They can't run up on Shakir. They have to stay back and move towards the middle with Hollins. Finally, the last decoy is you're going to have a drag from the running back who's lined up as a wide receiver at the top of the screen. He's going to just run across the screen. His job, A, maybe he gets a catch over the middle of the field because there's confusion. B, he drags any linebackers to the middle of the field rather than biting down on that swing pass. And C, eventually, if the play materializes, he can be a lead blocker, in theory, for Shakir. Now, the final receiver is the intended one on this particular play. Not the intended design, but the one who actually gets the ball. Now, I'm not sure if this is the route he was supposed to run. It absolutely would make sense. It just pulls another defender away from the play. But just so happens that Dalton Kincaid runs a corner directly to this giant void in the defense. And so while he may have just been a decoy when the play was written, once the play starts, Josh Allen realizes not only is he on my side of the field and therefore like my only real viable option to throw the ball to right now in this moment, but also this could be a touchdown. Could be. It's going to be tough, but the opportunity is there. Let's run the play and see the tragedy that unfolds. So remember, the entire offensive line is sliding left. So when they all slide left, because they think that's where the bad guys are, all the bad guys standing directly to their right have free rushes. So Karlaftis and Justin Reed, guys who have basically blown the Bills' game plan up all day, have nothing to do other than, of course, hit Josh Allen. And so Josh Allen doesn't really get time. He doesn't get time for that orbit to develop, right? Right here, by the time the orbit is already in motion, and the orbit does work, by the way. If Josh Allen would have just slid the protection to the right, he could easily toss this ball to Khalil Shakir, and that's a first down, right? He has to get to about the 47, 48. He's got 25 yards of room, right? And nobody headed towards him. The decoys work perfectly. It works. Everything works perfectly. But Josh Allen doesn't have time for that. He doesn't have time to step back and throw the ball to Shakir because right here is too early. Shakir hasn't, under the cover of night, gotten wide enough. If he throws the ball to him here, it's the same as a halfback pitch, and he's probably not getting 8 yards. He's probably not getting 15 yards after the catch because he's 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So, Allen has to roll to his right because it's the only way to buy time, right? If he bends it back to his left, all the defenders are going to converge, and now he's got one receiver, being Khalil Shakir, versus several defenders who are looking to tackle him. So it was never an option. He has to roll right. That's where all his receivers are going as decoys, but that's where they're going nonetheless. And right here, Allen realizes there's no hope, right? Because Spencer Brown blows his block on Karlaftis, and then you've got McDuffie and Justin Reed unblocked, right? You've got offensive linemen standing there with nothing to do because they were pointed in the wrong direction pre-snap. And big bodies are not that quick to change directions. So Josh Allen bails out and keeps his eyes downfield. Genius level IQ under pressure. The ability to see what's going on, to see this opening as you're falling backwards. And again, yeah, Khalil Shakir's wide open. I've seen the Ben Solak tweet. It sucks. It sucks that Josh Allen didn't have an opportunity to get his eyes around to Shakir, because Shakir was open. The play did work perfectly, but just the practical reality was I can't imagine a quarterback having the wherewithal and the physical ability to, right here while fading away, flip his hips and get the ball all the way down to where Shakir is. If he could, that's a first down, but I don't think anybody can. Instead, Josh Allen at his own 33-yard line, fading away, being hit, launches this ball, and look, if Josh Allen just had a quarter of a second, if one of those defenders just tripped up, if Justin Reed tripped a little bit on his own feet or got a slow start on the snap, Allen would have had enough time to put a proper ball on Kincaid. And I'm not joking when I say if he catches this ball at the 30-yard line, he might have a walk-in touchdown to win the game and go to the Super Bowl. But we know that's not the world we live in, because this ball goes and it's underthrown. Now look, you got to blame Kincaid. Look at the tracking. You don't have to keep running your route. Play's over. Ball's in the air. Now you stop your feet and you get to where the ball is. So he overruns this pretty severely. It's bad tracking on his part. And you're a tight end. This is supposed to be kind of your thing. So he comes back to the ball and he still gives himself a chance. That ball still should be caught at the 25. It's catchable. That's a really good ball. It's a great throw, actually. Under severe pressure. I'm giving Josh Allen a plus pocket movement and a great throw for this play. Kincaid needs to make that catch. And that's the game. That's the season. Let's watch it again here. See how the entire offensive line shifts left. The rush comes from the right. Allen buys himself time and puts it right in the breadbasket. I mean, like, again, the ball is behind and it's underthrown. Yeah, you wanted the ball outside the numbers at the 30-yard line, and it ends up way inside the numbers at the 25-yard line. Boo fucking who? There's nobody covering you. You are a 6'4" possession tight end. Hands are your thing. And the ball hits you in two hands and the neck. Cut Dalton Kincaid. This game was terrible on his part, not only because of this play, but because of about 4 or 5 others I highlighted in this video. Josh Allen did everything he needed to do. His team let him down. Yeah, they were a little bit lucky to be in this position in the first place. They were a little bit unlucky to be in this position in the first place. But just based on the plays that actually happened, they still did enough to win. After a shaky first half, Josh Allen really turned it on and gave us an A- performance in the second. So the first half's a little tricky because Josh Allen threw those 2 interceptable balls on the first 2 plays of the game. Now, on one hand, they're both interceptable balls. That's terrible. On the other hand, the Chiefs could really only intercept one of them. But I didn't really give him a break because he gave him a second bite at the apple. So, Chiefs fans, you can say, we deserve to win. We should have had 2 picks. And Bills fans can say, well, really only get to pick one of them. But for just grading Josh Allen, he threw 2 pickable balls. He also fumbled twice, and I grade a fumble like a fumble. Now, the third fumble on a quarterback sneak later in the game where Josh Allen dove over the top, the ball moved a total of maybe 4 inches, and Josh Allen recovered it within a second of fumbling it. That's bullshit. That's not a fumble. He just lost possession for a second and picked it right back up. If the ball doesn't move like a foot, it's a really hard time to call it a fumble, especially if Josh Allen's the guy who recovers it. So, not a fumble on that play. In the second half, Josh Allen didn't have much success as a runner, right? The Chiefs really sniffed out that quarterback sneak to the left that the Bills love to do. Why the Bills never thought, let's go to the right? I don't know, but they didn't. They just don't have that variability in their game plan, I guess. But Josh Allen more than made up for it with his arm, right? He was 2 of 3 on deep balls in this game. The gorgeous Mac Hollins touchdown, and then the gorgeous Mac Hollins seam ball, or rather skinny post. Both of them perfect. The great throw to Dalton Kincaid on the last play of the game, and one more to Khalil Shakir on a 3rd and long. Allen was really accurate on 78% of his aimed passes and 50% of his passes down the field. That's really good. It's really good. Uh, Still, ended up having slightly more negative plays than positive, 23% negative, 21% positive. And the highs and the lows basically averaged out to just above average, right? Now, the Bills didn't get punished by that. If you take away the interceptions that Josh Allen tried to throw and the fumbles that he did fumble, but the Bills got back, you're looking at roughly an A to A minus game. But you can't just do that, right? The plays were made. So while the Bills can say, we deserve to win, I agree. But Josh Allen can't say he deserved a better grade. He didn't. He made mistakes. Far from his best game in the playoffs. Primarily because Josh Allen has been stellar in the playoffs thus far in his career. I mean, before this game, you have to go back to 2020 just to find a below average or just to find a below good game from Josh Allen. The guy's a stud. But the Bills don't help him. Mediocre offensive line. Very, very mediocre receivers. Amari Cooper never blossomed the way I thought he would. Whether he's just washed or he doesn't really understand the offense or what, he's not a number one receiver like you thought you were getting. Dalton Kincaid's a bust, period. This game isn't the only instance, but in this particular game, he was terrible. He couldn't block, he couldn't run routes, couldn't catch. What could he do? I'd rather play Dawson Knox, legitimately, and I've always kind of thought that. I thought Dalton Kincaid was a bad pick for them in the first place. And then Keon Coleman, that's a bust. He was a bust the day they drafted him, and he's a bust now. He's shown no improvement. His ball skills are still, shall we call them, inconsistent. His routes are terrible. He's not very fast at all. He actually kind of runs like a defensive lineman. I don't understand really what the Bills were thinking. I think the Bills are a really poorly coached and really poorly constructed team for the most part, especially on defense. But Josh Allen makes it all work. And Joe Brady actually, Joe Brady was pretty good in this game. And Joe Brady's not a problem at offensive coordinator necessarily. But I think Sean McDermott is a problem on defense, is a problem as a head coach. I think that whoever is organizing their draft board is really bad at it, and they don't have any money to spend in free agency. Josh Allen's in a tough spot. Bills fans, you're in a tough spot. But alas, there's hope as long as there's Josh Allen. I don't think that this particular game was a good game to judge either quarterback's legacy on because Josh Allen played pretty damn well and still lost again. And Patrick Mahomes didn't really do anything special and still won again. Because turns out football is about a lot more than just quarterbacks. And these are the exact arguments that Bills fans should have been making all year to say Josh Allen's MVP over Lamar Jackson, right? Like, Lamar's got the elite offensive line, and Josh is just okay. And Lamar's got elite deep receivers, and Josh has nothing. And Lamar's got those 2-3 tight ends who are all really good, and Josh has got 2 pretty mediocre tight ends. And Derrick Henry's amazing, and James Cook's good, but he's not Derrick Henry. John Harbaugh, legendary coach, Super Bowl winning coach. Todd Monken, genius offensive mind. Defense, it's just... Take away Josh Allen, I don't know if the Bills are a 7-win team. It is what it is. That's way too long of a video, and I got 2 or 3 more to record today, so I'm going to get grinding film. Hasta.